Hey guys, have another product available. Will be available on C4Depot.com. The link will be in the description below. This is just a sport bike emulating kind of a Honda CBF 600, and it's a fully rigged bike, and I want to talk about it a little bit. Here's the Espresso. It is fully rigged for Cinema 4D only. It does not have a rig for any other programs, and it is using Espresso. So if we dig right into it, what we have are a couple of quick options, which is a high and low option for the model. You can select the low resolution model and you'll remove a whole bunch of different things, including the chain, which I have set up on a follow spline, so we'll talk about that in a minute. For now I'm going to leave it on high. You have the normal level detail in the editor, and it does seem to be hiding some things, so I'm going to have to adjust that, make sure that it's just a higher mesh, I think is all we have going on here. I always recommend using the level detail editor as low as possible. It's easier to navigate. And then leave your level of detail in the renderer as high as you desire. I always think that a subdivision render of 2 for up close shots are perfect. And then what we have here is, so I am adding a character into this model. Now it's very important that you understand this character I did not create and I am not selling. It is a free character I'm giving away with this model, and it's an Adobe Fuse character. And I've just modified him and adjusted him so he can sit on the bike, and he has a couple of controls too. You have the ability to put a helmet on him if you so desire. You don't need to have the helmet if you don't want to. You can choose to remove the rider's hair. That's about as simple as it gets. And if you really want, you can remove the rider altogether and then throw your own person onto the bike. That's the rider is literally meant as a quick means of having someone on the bike without having to spend any time to just go. And the benefit is that I have rigged the rider to the bike, so I'm going to put his hair back on and keep the helmet hidden for now. But let's talk about some paint. We do have the ability to adjust paint colors. As usual, I like to always give you that power. In this case, you have a base coat and you have a stripe, and you can take that trim and you can make that also any color that you like. And it's just an alpha mask is all it is. And right now I just have it standard as black and silver. Paint reflection, as always, when you have a high level of reflection, you're going to have a nice global reflection within the model. And when you don't have any reflection, you're going to have a matte finish. And I'll show you one more time. So this is a maximum reflection. You can see the reflection off of the rider, off of the some of the components here. So I'm leaving this around 50. You also have the ability to change color of the engine. This is more if you wanted some kind of a more of a matte black. I found I like kind of a magnesium blue, titanium bluish kind of color, so I went with that, and giving you the power to adjust that as you see fit. And just for the sake of doing so, you also have the ability to adjust the wheels and the main bracket here for the engine mount. So just kind of a neat extra there. And then calipers, as always, you can adjust the front and rear caliper colors. I always like it as red, but I know other people like it in other colors. So let's talk about the actual control rig. So what we have is you have the ability to bank, and I give you a lot of bank on this. And you'll notice that the character is actually banking with the bike. So there's a whole lot going on here in the rig. So I've mapped some goals that I've placed into the bones of the character, and that's why it's convenient the way you can get this to work. If you have another personal character you want to use, talk to me and I'm happy to help you rig the that character up so that we can give him the goals and have it basically follow the same line that this guy can follow. I'm going to come back for a second to the helmet. I did add a control for the helmet so you can lower and raise the visor if you desire. And we're going to hide that again. Handlebar control. As you rotate the handlebars, his hands will stay on the bars as well as his head will rotate. It's just kind of a nice added effect, so when you're making your scene, you're going to have the ability to really control the appearance of the animation for this. And I put a little note in here, use 66% for flat ground. So that's actually meant, the 66% bank is meant up here, so if I go to 66%, you are going to have the kickstand level, it's going to be planar to the ground with the bike in a rolled state. And that's how I did the renders that, if you look at my renders, you'll see that's how it's done. So you have the ability to adjust the front suspension, it'll ride along that axis, and the rear suspension. And now the rear suspension, just so you're aware, does have the it does have some springs for the suspension that will follow, and that's a character constraint. But for now, we're going to leave it right about here. And one other kind of nice component on this animation is there's a drive spline for the chain. So as you pull the vehicle forward, the motorcycle forward, you'll see that the wheel will rotate with the ground. So that's built in. So as long as you're grabbing the root of the bike, it will rotate, and along with that rotation will be the chain as well. Now, there's a lot going on the chain. It has a entire drive spline that's all by itself. So just know that, and here's the driver for the spline. So just know that the chain, if it's too much in your scene, all you have to do is just drop that level of detail, and now you're going to be into the normalized sweep. That'll give you the same output. It'll be much simpler though. Alright, so moving on to the lights. So as always, I like to give you the option of hiding the lights because it does sometimes bog the editor down, which is really unfortunate. So if you're running a scene and you have the lights visible, it's going to be difficult to actually see or be able to navigate. So just, you can hide those. What we have is a headlight. So that'll have a kind of a nice omni light with a shine, and it'll give you the, let's do that. So it's going to give you kind of a nice projection, kind of like you'd expect in a motorcycle. And you'll see that we have the rear light as well. So I've given you a glass and, kind of a running light effect here. And then at the same time, you also have your turn signals, which is always important. So I'm going to unhide the lights, and we'll turn those on. But what you'll see is you have kind of the nice modula effect. And then when you render it out, you're going to have a nice bright blinker. So this will come out really nice if you're running a render. You don't need it to be as bright if you don't want it. You can make that adjustment in the detail of the blinker. So if I come in here and I wanted to, oh, I'm sorry, if I come in here and let's go ahead and select one of these. So let's go ahead and bring up the light itself. It's all hidden in the handlebars. So what you have is you can change your detail. Right now I have it for a very short radius decay, but you can come into your detail here and you can change the distances if you desire, and that'll kind of make the overall adjustment for how much it's going to end up giving you for illumination. So that's about it for this model. It's hopefully going to be a real fun, neat little model that you guys can throw into any rig that you're working, especially if it's a city model. highly encourage jumping in and using this model. And I hope you guys enjoy this as a new product from Rohr 3D Solutions, and check out c4depot.com. Thanks.